So in this video we will cover squares and square root. Square root. Mm, So this is class 8th level. So what is a square? So take any number, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a set of, let's say, natural numbers and so on. So take a number 1 and square it, that is 1 into 1. A number multiplied with itself, that is a square. So 1 into 1 is 1. So 2 square, 2 into 2 is equal to 4. 3 square is 3 into 3. 3 multiplied by itself is 9, and so on and so forth. So this is how you find the square of a number. So let's say 4 square, 4 into 4 is equal to 16. 5 square, 5 into 5 is equal to 25. So a number multiplied with itself gives a square of that number. Okay, now these numbers 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, these are called square numbers. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25 are called square numbers. You can understand these terminologies. Called square numbers. Now what is a square number? A square number is a number which can be expressed as n square. That means like 4 can be expressed as 2 square, or 9 can be expressed as 2 square, 3 square. So 9 is a square number, 4 is a square number. 10 is not a square number because it cannot be expressed in the form of n square. Okay, so 16 is a square number. A square number is also called perfect squares. Okay, so a number that can be expressed as a square of itself, not of itself but of another number, is called a perfect square. Like let's say 25. So 25 can be expressed as the square of 5. So 25 is a perfect number or a square number. I'll write it just for clarification. So now we will discuss properties of square numbers. Let's just write the properties of square numbers. We'll draw a table for convenience. So 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square is 25, 6 square is 36, 7 square is 49, 8 square is 64, 9 square is 81, 10 square is 100, 11 square is 121, 12 square is 144, 13 square 169, 14 square 196, 15 square 225. If you want, you can learn this table as well. With practice you will be able to memorize some of them without doing much, but if you want, you can learn it. 19 square is 361, 20 square is 400. So now what is to be looked into is that at the units place, okay, at the units place, they end with either 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9. Okay, so they do not have 2, 3, 7 or 8 as their last digit. So if you are given a number, let's say 14321, just by looking at the unit digit, you can say whether it is a square number or not. It is not necessary that because the units digit is 1, so it is going to be a square number. You will have to look deeper into it. But let us suppose if it had been 14322. Now the unit digit is 2. So by looking at it, you can say that it is not a square number. Okay. For the above 14,321, you will have to look deeper into it. There is a possibility that it might be a square number or not, because the units digit is 1. For 14,322, you can be sure that it is not a square number. So moving on to the next property. So next property. So 1 square is 1, 9 square is 81, 11 square is 121, 19 square is 361, 21 square is 441. So the next property is that a number having 1 or 9 in units place then their square ends in 1. So you will get 1 at the units place. This is the same thing. So 1 square is 1, 9 square again 81, and 1 is at units place. 11, so 121, 1 is again at units place. So this is another property that can be looked into. Now we will go to the third property. So the third property is like this. 4 square is 16, 6 square is 36, 14 square is 256, sorry, 196, 16 square is 256. So here you will see that when the unit digit number is 4 or 6, then their squares are ending in 6. The unit digit is 6. Okay, so this is the third property. So a number having 4 or 6 in units place their square will have 6 in units place. This is the third property of square numbers. So another property of square numbers is, like, let's say 10 square is equal to 100, 20 square is equal to 400, 100 square is equal to 10,000, So what we are seeing is that 10 into 10 is giving two zeros. Okay, 100 square is giving four zeros. So let's say 1000 square. So 1000 into 1000. So six zeros. Sometimes you will be asked some questions regarding this. They will be simple. You can use simple multiplication from the number to find it. So there are triangular numbers. What are triangular numbers? Triangular numbers. So triangular numbers are numbers whose dot patterns can be arranged as triangles. So let's say 1, 2 or 3 rather. 6. So it is a 6 is a triangular number because we can arrange 6 dots in a form of a triangle. This is forming a right angle triangle. 10. So 10 is a right angle triangle as well. So if we combine two consecutive triangular numbers, we will get a square or a perfect square or a square number. Let's see that. So let us add 1 and 3. So put 3 here and add it with 1. So we get 4, which is a perfect square for 2 squares. Okay, this is a square number. And if you continue doing like this, you can see for yourself as an exercise of 3 plus 6. So you will get 9, which is again 3 square, which is a perfect square. So now we will look for numbers between square numbers. Okay, so square numbers are like 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square is 25. So for ease of calculation, we will confine ourselves till 5 square. We will look for later numbers in later on. Okay. So between 1 and 4, 1 and 4 as we have previously discussed are square numbers. Okay. So in between 1 and 4, we have 2 and 3. So we have two non-square numbers. Okay. Now between 4 and 9. Okay. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have four non-square numbers. So if we continue this pattern, let's say between 9 and 16. 9 is a square number, 16 is a square number. In between that 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 non-square numbers. So what we can say that if we have two natural numbers n and n plus 1, okay, then n plus 1 square minus n square, okay, is equal to n square plus 2n plus 1 minus n square is equal to 2n plus 1. So what we can say here is there are 2n non-perfect square numbers between the numbers n and n plus 1. Okay, now you might be thinking that why 2n plus 1? In this 2n plus 1, 1 is ignored in order to skip the actual number, the final number itself, which will become clear once you do few examples like this. Okay, so in all these cases, like 3 square, so n here is 3, 2n is equal to 6 non-square numbers, n here is 2, so 2 into 2 4n square numbers. Okay, we are finding the difference between 2 square and 3 square. Okay, so this concept should be extremely clear. There's no, it is not difficult, it is easy. Now add odd numbers, like the first one is 1, 1 plus 3. Consecutive odd numbers, first two consecutive odd numbers is 4, is 2 square, 1 plus 3 plus 5, which is 9, which is 3 square, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7, which is 16, which is 4 square, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 is equal to 25, which is 5 square. So we can say that sum of first n odd natural numbers is n square. Okay, how do we understand this? Let's see. Sum of first n odd natural numbers is n square. First of first four odd natural numbers. First four odd natural numbers. It is the same. Is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 square is equal to first n odd 16. First 5 natural numbers, odd natural numbers is 5 square, 25. You can see that. Okay. Now, one of the methods of checking whether a number is a perfect square or not is, let us say, we have a number 25. Okay. We will subtract minus 1 from it. We will get 24. Then we will subtract 3 from it. We will get 21. What we are doing is we are subtracting first, we are subtracting odd natural numbers, consecutive odd natural numbers starting from 1. Okay, if the final remainder is 0, final after subtracting we get 0, we can say that the number is a perfect square. This is just another method of checking whether it is a perfect square or not. Okay, now let us say we have 38. Let's say we subtract minus 1 from it, we got 37. 37 minus 3 we got 34. 34 minus 5 we got 29. 29 minus 7 we got 22. 22 minus 9 we got 13. 13 minus 11 we got 2. 2 minus 13 we got minus 11. So we are not getting a 0. So 38 is not a perfect square. So one of the other patterns that we look for in square numbers is product of two consecutive even or odd natural numbers. Let's say 11 into 13, that is 143. It can be expressed as 12 square minus 1, or 11 can be written as 12 minus 1, 13 can be written as 12 plus 1. Okay, so this is a minus b, a plus b, a minus b, a plus b, or a square minus b square, which is equal to 12 square minus 1. 1 square, so 1 square will go to 1. Okay, so in general the pattern is for product of two consecutive even or odd numbers is a square minus 1. So suppose you have been given 12 into 14. So you can write 12 into 14 is 13 minus 1. 14 can be 13 plus 1. So 13 square minus 1, which is 168. Okay. Observe the squares. Then there are a few other patterns with square numbers. One of the more discussed ones, I will discuss one that is that pattern is a more discussed one. So 1 square is equal to 1, 11 square is equal to 1 square is equal to 1. We will not write it here, we will write it 121. 111 square is equal to 12321. 111 square is equal to 1234321. So it forms a beautiful triangular pattern. So if you go with 5 ones and their squares, so you will see another triangular pattern. So this pattern is generally used. I don't think there is a lot of uh, exam point of view significance of it, but it is a good pattern, so you might be interested in it. So you can practice a few questions regarding this. That should be easy enough to understand and implement. The questions asked on the basis of square numbers will be fairly easy, and if you follow the above discussion you will be able to answer them correctly, no problems there. Now we will be moving on to the next section, finding the square of a number. Now finding the square of a number. Okay, let's say 23. We can multiply 23 into 23, which is the best way to find the square of it. However, there is another way. So 23 is equal to 20 plus 3. You can know this way, there is no problem in that. Uh, if you are comfortable with multiplying the two numbers, that would be good enough. If you want to understand another way, this is a good method. So 23 can be split in 20 plus 3 the whole square. Okay, if you expand it, this is how it is expanded. I'm going to show you few more examples in it. Okay, so 20 square plus 60, we are expanding this here. 20 square into 60 plus 60 into 3 square, which is 9. So this is 529 when you add it up. So let's say we want to find the square of 41. So it can be 40 plus 1, the whole square, of 40 into 40 plus 1 and 1 into 40 plus 1. This is how it is supposed to be expanded. Okay, so 1600 plus 40 into 1, so 1681 is going to be the answer. So you can understand how to expand it, and you can use this method to find the squares of a number. If you don't want to multiply, if you want to multiply, you can do it as like that as well, no problems there. Now we come to the concept of Pythagorean triplets. Okay, Pythagorean triplets. Okay, so Pythagorean triplets are numbers whose squares can be expressed as a sum of the third one. Okay, so Pythagorean triplets have three numbers. The sum of squares of the first two is equal to the square of the third one. So let's say 3, 4 and 5 is one Pythagorean triplet. Okay, 3 square and plus 4 square. The sum of squares of the first two, 9 plus 16 is equal to 25, is the square of the third member of the triplet. Okay, 6, 8 and 10 is one other triplet. 6 square plus 8 square is equal to 36 plus 64, which is equal to 100, which is equal to 10 square. So they form a triplet as well. Okay, 5, 12, 13 are another triplet. So there are a lot of triplets. In general, 2m, m square minus 1, m square plus 1 forms a Pythagorean triplet. Okay, you can remember this formula if you want to. There is nothing wrong with it. Okay, so you might be asked certain questions regarding this. So write a Pythagorean triplet whose smallest number is 8. Write a Pythagorean triplet with 8 as the smallest member, 8xy. Okay, so we need to find x and y. Okay, so we have the formula here, 2m m square minus 1 and m square plus 1. So let's say 2m is equal to 8, m is equal to 4. Okay, so m square minus 1 is equal to 15. 4 square is 16 minus 1, 15. M square plus 1 is equal to 17. Actually, we have found this in one go. I wanted to do something else. Let us suppose here I have already taken 2m plus 2m is equal to 8. You understand where the logic comes for 2m is equal to 8, because we need to find the Pythagorean triplet. Now Pythagorean triplets can be expressed in the form 2m m square minus 1 m square plus 1. What we don't know here is which one is the smallest, which one is the greatest. Okay, so we assume that 2m is equal to 8 will be the smallest value here. We got m is equal to 4. Now we substituted 4 in m square minus 1 and m square plus 1, and we got the result directly. Suppose by chance we had put m square minus 1 is equal to 8 as our, this is root 2. So in the first one we have already got the answer. 8, 15 and 17 is the Pythagorean triplet. But suppose we had put minus m square minus 1 is equal to 8. So m square is equal to 8 plus 1, which is 9. M is equal to, we are not considering minus 3, we will consider only plus 3 here. So m is equal to 3. Okay. Now 2m is equal to 6. M square plus 1 is equal to, okay, so m is equal to 3, so 2m is equal to 6. M square minus 1 is 8. M square plus 1 is 11. So we would have gotten another triplet 6, 8 and 11. But in this case 8 is not the smallest number. 8 is the second smallest number. So this will be discarded. Okay. The correct answer is got from this one, 2m, by assuming 2m is equal to 8. This is how you will be asked to find a Pythagorean triplet. This is fairly easy. So this is about squares. Now we will try to find square roots of numbers. Square root. What is a square root? Square roots. So let's say a number is given as 4. We have been asked to find its square root. So this is the root symbol. Okay. So we have been asked to find the square root of 4. So we know we can factorize 4. We will learn in detail about the factorization method later on. But 2 into 2. Okay. So here the answer is going to be 2 or plus minus 2. We will look into that later on. But here if we factorize it, we will get plus minus 2 as the answer here. So this is about finding square roots. Okay. Now square root is the inverse operation of squaring. So let's say we have multiplied 2 into 2, 4. So square root of 4 is 2. We will see later on it is minus 2 as well, because minus 2 into minus 2 also gives us 4. Okay. Okay, so now there are different methods of finding square roots. One of the methods is finding square root through repeated subtraction, which we discussed earlier as well, that we were subtracting minus 1, then minus 3, then we were subtracting 5, 7, 9 consecutive odd numbers. So finding square root through repeated subtraction. So let us try to find under root of 100. So 100 minus 1 is equal to 99. 99 minus 3 is equal to 94. 94 minus 5 is equal to 89. 89 minus 7 is equal to 82, minus 9, which is 73, minus 11, which is 62, minus 13, which is 49, minus 15, which is 34, minus 17 is equal to 17, and 17 minus 17 is equal to 0. So 100 is a perfect square because we got 0 at the end, and we got it after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 0 in the 10th step. So the answer of under root 100 is going to be equal to 10. This is called finding square root through repeated subtraction method. Okay, now there is another method of finding square root through prime factorization. Finding square root through prime factorization. Now I said we are going to discuss factorization method in detail. Now let's understand it. Let us suppose we have a number 36. So we will convert it into factors. So let's say 6 into 6 is 36. 3 into 2 is equal to 6. 3 into 2 is equal to 6. Now we need to find the under root of it. Okay, we have to find the square root. So we will club 2 into 2 here and 3 into 3 here, and we will find the under root. So we will get, so what happens in under root is, if we find, suppose in this case, because we are finding, when we don't find, we will leave it like that. But if we are finding, we have to suppose it is under root. Okay, so we have to group even number of factors, even number of same factors together, like 2 into 2, and when it comes out of under root, one of them is discarded and the only the other one is left. So 2 into 2, 4. So because we are finding under root, only one of the 2's will be left. Similarly for 3, 3 into 3, only one of the 3 will be left. So 2 into 3 is equal to 6 will be your answer. So let us discuss another number for your clarity. 64, 8 into 8. 64 is 8 into 8, which is again is 4 into 2 into 4 into 2. Now 4 can be again broken down into 2 into 2. 2 into 2 into 2. So what will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for 6, we will get 3 of the 2's will be discarded and 3 of the 2's will be remaining. 2 into 2 into 2 is equal to 8. Okay, so this is how you find square roots using prime factorization method. So one of the questions that you will be asked, whether a number is a perfect square or not. Suppose it is a big number, you cannot just by looking at it say whether it is a perfect square or not. So this is how you are going to find it. 2352 divided by 2, you're getting 1 1 7 6. Now 2 5. We are trying to find the factors here, or we are trying to break down 2 3 5 2 into smaller multiples of 2 3 5 7 8 9, 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so that it becomes easier to analyze them. Okay, 4 will become 2 into 2, so there is 2 3 5 7. This is how it goes. Okay, 5 8 8, again 2 2 9 4, 2 1 4 7. Now it directly goes to 721. 7 will go to 3. Okay, so in order to understand whether it is a perfect square or not, perfect square is a number multiplied by with itself can give the multiply with itself. Okay, so what we will find is 1 2 3 4 2's, 4 2's, 7 are 2, 3 is singular. Okay, so what will happen is What it tries to say is under root of 2352 should be a natural number. This is what the question is asking. Okay, whether 2352 is a perfect square or not. So under root of 2352 should be a natural number. This is what the question is asking. Now what we are, when we are trying to break down 2352, we are getting 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 4 twos and 2 sevens, but 1 3 only. So when we bring it out of the under root, two of them remain, only two twos remain, so 2 into 2, only 1 7 is going to remain here, but here we will get under root 3. Okay, so 2352 is not a perfect square. However, if 3 is multiplied to 2352, okay, 2352, if 3 is multiplied to 2352, we will get a perfect square. So 2352 into 3, which is 6, 15, 0 and 7. So 7056 is a perfect square, but 2352 is not. Okay, so you may be asked a question that find 2352 is a perfect square or not. If it is not a perfect square, then find a new number which is a multiple of 2352. Okay, and so in order to find a number which is a multiple of 2352, you will need this method. You will need to understand that if you multiply it by 3, we will get a 3 here as well, which when comes out of the under root gives you the result, and the number is going to be 4. 4 into 3 is 12. 12 into 7 is 84. So it is the square of 84, which is a perfect square. Okay, so these are the examples, which is fairly simple, nothing complicated. Try to cover as many things as possible with this. You can practice few questions with this, and this will be easy and simple. Now sometimes you will be asked to find a square root of a number by division method. Let's see that. Finding square root by division method. Okay, so let's say the number is given as 529. We take the first digit here and the second two digits here. Okay, we put a bar on them. Now we try to break down them. So 2 into 2 is equal to 4. So 1. Now we will bring 29 down. We will multiply 2 into 2, 4. Okay, and now we will try to multiply, bring a number here so that we are able to multiply this. We are able to completely divide it with something that gives us 0. So 3 here and 3 here is going to give us 129. 0. Okay, so 23 is the answer of this. Finding square root of 529 by long division, by division method. You will get better in this by practicing. Okay, now because it was a 3-digit number, so we took one. Let's say we will take another one, 729, just to show whether how it works. So 3 into 2 is equal to 6, 129. Now 6. Now this is not giving it. Okay, so we will use another way. 2 into 3 is equal to 6, 129. 2 into 4, yeah, this is giving 43. 3, 129. So again you see we started with 2, 2 into 3 is 6, 129, 43, so 33 into 33. Okay, so here there is some error, we will rectify it. So we will take 729, we will start with 2. So generally, and we will take square of 2. 2 into 2, 4. We are not going to multiply it by 3. Okay, so what happens is, find the largest number whose square is less than or equal to the number under the extreme left bar. So extreme, because there are 3 digits, so under the extreme left bar we have 7. So we need to find the square of 2 rather than multiplication with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, and we have to find square of 2, and we will use 4. Then we will bring down 29 here. We are doubling 2 here, 2 into 2, 4, and we will be finding another number here, which when multiplied with it gives 329. So 27 is going to be the answer and not 33. So there was a little bit of error there. Okay, so that's that. There's nothing so difficult here. Now let's say we have to find a 4-digit numbers square root. Let's say the number is 4096. Okay, so here, because the number of digits is even, we will take 2 at a time. So 4096. Now we have to take a number whose square is less than this 40. So 6 square, 6 into 6 is 36, 496. Now in the next steps the 6 will get doubled, like 12, and if we use 4 here, so 64, we will get 496, which is 0. This becomes 64. Okay, so there is nothing wrong with this. It's quite simple. So finding square root by division method is just another method by which you find the squares root. This is a fairly simple method. You need to find a number whose square is less than the first digit or the first couple of digits, and then you need to double it and then multiply it so that the remainder becomes 0. Now we will find the square roots of decimals. Square roots of decimals under root 17.64. Now here we will find, so 17.64, here there are 4 digits, so we are going to place 2 bars underneath them. Now 4 square, 4 into 4 is 16, 1, we will bring 64 down, we will double this 4, 8, so 2, and because there is a decimal point, we will put it at like 0.2. Okay, so 1.64, which is 0, so 4.2 is going to be the answer. Okay, so this is fairly simple, there is nothing, so it is extremely simple, nothing so difficult about it. Okay, so then you might be given how to estimate a square root. Let's say find the square root of 500. Okay, so 500 under root. Okay, so here what we take is 25 square is equal to 625. So square root of 500 is going to be less than 25. square root of, let's say, 22. 22 square is 484, I think. Yeah, 23 square is equal to, let's say, 23 into 23, 529, I think. So it is going to be, it is difficult to find the exact square root of 500. So but we can tell that it is going to be in between 22 and 23. So if there is an option, or if you are asked what is the square root of under root of 500, square root of 500, you can say that it is going to be between 22 and 23. So these are the simple type of questions that you will be asked. So I think I've covered all the concepts here. There's nothing left. The only thing left is for you to practice few questions. If you do that, the questions here will be extremely simple, easy, and you will be able to do that without any problems. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can ask it. Okay, so I think this is it with this topic of square and square roots.